Imagine you're writing code for a new website. You render it locally. Notice, like the CSS styling on the navigation bar is totally broken, and you go back to tweak it.
Right, just a standard engineering workflow.
Yeah, exactly. But now, imagine AI doing that. And I don't mean just predicting the next likely line of code in your editor. I mean writing the code, physically spinning up a web browser, visually inspecting the rendered page, spotting its own aesthetic mistakes, and then, rewriting the source to fix it.
Because that's the reality of the models we're looking at today. We are officially moving way past simple text generation.
Welcome to this deep dive. If you are an engineer or, a researcher tracking the bleeding edge of AI architecture right now, you know the ground is shifting incredibly fast.
Oh, absolutely. Faster than ever.
So today, we are bypassing the trivial entirely. We've pulled a stack of highly specific, very technical sources. We've got an advanced applied mathematics paper analyzing transformer latent geometry, the GLM5 technical report, and extensive architectural breakdowns of the August 2026 release of the Qwen 3.8 series.
Yeah, we really want to examine exactly how its open-weight architecture diverges from, proprietary models like Anthropic's Claude Opus.
Okay, let's unpack this. We are looking at models that spin up their own web browsers to inspect their own code. Models that use hybrid linear attention to cheat the big O of n-squared complexity curse. And architectures that literally budget their own thinking time. Let's dive in.
Yeah, let's start with the root of the problem.
Right, because I keep seeing this term context explosion in all the recent deployment papers. If a frontier model already has, say, a million token context window, why does multi-agent reasoning suddenly break its memory?
So to understand that, we really have to look at the absolute physical bottleneck of full attention, which is the KV cache. Every time a standard transformer generates a new word, it has to look back at every single word that came before it.
Just to understand the context.
Exactly. And to avoid recalculating that entire history from scratch for every single token, the architecture saves a key and a value vector for every previous token. Think of it like a massive high-dimensional filing cabinet that just grows with every single word.
Which, that makes sense for short queries, right? But when you transition to long horizon agentic tasks,
where a coding agent is constantly resending history, pasting in command line outputs, writing out these massive reasoning steps.
yeah, that filing cabinet gets unmanageably huge.
It becomes physically prohibitive. The memory cost of that caching is just brutal. The computational cost for standard attention is big O of n sub q times n sub kv times the sum of the qk and v dimensions.
Which means?
In hardware terms, the cache size is essentially 2 times the sequence length times the number of layers times the number of attention heads times the head dimension times the bit width. When an agent is running in a continuous loop, the VRAM requirements on your GPU literally explode. The hardware physically cannot store the attention states.
Okay, so the industry is looking for compression shortcuts. And this brings us to a really fascinating paper in our stack, the one titled Symmetry in Language Statistics Shapes the Geometry of Model Representations.
Oh, that paper is a massive revelation for applied mathematicians right now.
What I gathered is that these attention matrices, they aren't just calculating like abstract mathematical weights, right? The models are physically mapping geometric shapes in their hidden layers to represent logic.
Right. It proves that the semantic information in an LLM is geometrically structured. The model exploits this geometry during the forward pass.
Like how?
So, for instance, it uses the parallelogram geometry of linear analogies to complete relational tasks. The classic king minus man plus woman equals queen vector math.
Right.
But it also uses these continuous representational manifolds to reason about structural formatting, like tracking exactly where to insert line breaks in a massive JSON file. The attention mechanism is essentially a geometric engine navigating this 3D blueprint of logic.
So let me translate this for the engineers listening who are trying to optimize these models locally. If these models are building literal geometric shapes in their hidden layers to represent reasoning, and you want to compress that space to solve the KV cache problem.
Using techniques like grouped query attention or MLA, multi-headed latent attention?
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't compressing that space fundamentally destroy the resolution of that geometry? If you flatten a 3D blueprint, you lose the building.
That is the exact mathematical tightrope architects are walking. MLA solves this by changing how the filing cabinet works. Instead of separate, massive key and value matrices for every single head, it constructs a shared, low-rank, latent embedding.
Wait, so just one compressed bottleneck?
Yes. From this one shared latent space mathematically, L equals X times W sub LL, it projects the individual keys and values dynamically. And because that transformation is strictly linear, the geometry, those parallelograms and continuous loops, they're preserved.
Oh, wow. And the cache size drops because the GPU only stores that single latent vector.
Exactly, but there's a painful catch with how models understand word order.
Positional encoding.
Right. Applying rope E, rotary position embeddings, to this latent space complicates things tremendously. Rope E applies a rotation to token coordinates that decays exponentially based on distance.
I think of it like a clock face, right? Where the minute hand spins wildly to track recent immediate words, but the hour hand barely moves, tracking the broad context from 1,000 pages ago.
That's a perfect analogy. But what happens when you combine that spinning clock with a compressed latent space? You break the math.
Fully.
If you apply that complex rotation to the shared latent space, you break the low-rank factorization equivalence. You can't pull the keys and queries out cleanly anymore.
The geometry gets totally distorted.
Exactly. It forces architects to either decouple the position embeddings entirely, which harms performance, or rely on highly complex coordinate mapping, specifically theta sub d equals b to the power of negative 2π over the absolute value of d just to keep the geometry intact.
Okay, that mathematical tension perfectly sets up the massive structural divergence we are seeing at the frontier right now. We're looking at two completely different philosophies of intelligence.
It really is a stark divergence in engineering philosophy.
Right, if we look at the 2.4 trillion parameter Qwen 3.8 max and compare it to Anthropic's Claude Opus 4.8, or even the rumored Opus 5 honeycomb leaks, they solve this computational limit so differently. Let's look at Qwen 3.8 max first.
So Alibaba built Qwen on a massive sparse mixture of experts, or MOE framework. It's huge, 2.4 trillion parameters, but heavily sparse.
So instead of a monolithic network, it uses incredibly fine-grained expert segmentation.
Right. For any given token, only a tiny, highly specialized subset of experts is activated.
And the thoroughness is insane. In the independent testing from our sources, Qwen 3.8 logs 0 failed tool calls during massive codebase integrations. It flawlessly pulled hundreds of repository citations.
It gets the answer perfectly right on a single silent pass, but the trade-off is latency. Because of the complex routing, complex simulations can take 30 to 60 minutes.
Whereas Opus 4.8 and 5 operate on a closed, token-heavy architecture. Based on production behavior, Opus generates like 4 times more output tokens per task than its competitors.
Yeah, its architecture isn't about getting it right on the first pass. It's built for agentic recovery mechanics.
Wait, hold on. Opus handles complex state just by thinking out loud in a scratch pad. Isn't that just a brute force band-aid for bad memory?
It definitely carries a massive thinking tax in compute costs, but it provides unparalleled resilience. Opus writes out its logical steps, often inside hidden thinking tags, continuously feeding its own context window.
But when it hits a dead end, it just looks back at its own scratchpad.
Exactly. It recognizes the logical failure, corrects its trajectory in real time, and recovers without losing the thread.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Qwen is like a highly methodical engineer who measures 10 times and cuts once in silence, while Opus is the engineer who builds rapidly, breaks things, spots the error in the logs, and immediately fixes it.
That's spot on. Qwen handles state via precise internal expert activations. Opus handles it via externalized contextual generation.
Okay, so how do you cram that methodical Qwen intelligence into a model everyday developers can actually use locally? Alibaba compressed this into the Qwen 3.827B technical blueprint.
Right, a model that can run on a single RTX 4090 GPU with 24 gigs of VRAM.
How is that even possible?
Hybrid attention architecture. It's arguably the most fascinating leap here. Out of 64 transformer blocks, 48 are gated delta-net layers, meaning linear attention, and only 16 are full attention.
So it's a 3-to-1 ratio. That shifts the complexity from big O of n squared down to big O of an n for 75% of its depth.
Exactly. That's how it maintains a native context of 256K tokens, stretchable to 1 million via the yarn extension, without crashing your GPU.
I have to push back here, though. Pure linear attention has a huge vulnerability. If you compress 800,000 tokens of history into a fixed size RNN-like linear state, the exact retrieval degrades into a blur.
It does.
So how does it handle highly complex, nonlinear reasoning at the end of a million token context? Doesn't the linear state bottleneck the memory compared to full attention?
In pure linear attention, yes, the details fade. But Qwen solves this with fused attention output gates and recurrent state maintenance. The 48 linear layers hold the continuous semantic gist of the problem.
The broad strokes.
Right. Then the 16 full attention layers are strategically placed to act as precise retrieval anchors. They do the heavy quadratic lookup to rescue exact details, and the fused gates seamlessly combine them.
That is a brilliant hardware-aware compromise. Infinite memory length with high-resolution recall. And they pair that with an MTP or multi-token prediction head, correct?
Yes, yes. Standard autoregressive models predict one single word at a time. The 27B model has an auxiliary head for speculative decoding, predicting multiple future tokens simultaneously.
To give an analogy for this, imagine a master chess player. While they are burning intense mental energy calculating a grand strategy 10 moves out, their hand already knows exactly how to pick up and slide the pawn.
I like that.
The main network does the heavy logic, while the MTP head just auto-completes the obvious syntax, like brackets and boilerplate code. Our sources note this yields a 15 to 25% throughput boost.
Yeah, the auxiliary head masks the latency of the reasoning. It's a highly efficient division of labor.
Okay, so you have this hybrid brain, it manages memory, and generates code quickly.
Right.
But how do you train it to actually take autonomous action?
That brings us to the Reasoning AI Blueprint and the GLM-5 technical report. The core technique is IcePop, built on GRPO, or Group Relative Policy Optimization.
Right.
In GRPO, you optimize the training-inference mismatch ratio. But the GLM-5 team made a massive philosophical shift. They dropped the KL regularization term entirely.
For the engineers listening, why is removing that one variable such a big deal? The KL divergence penalty usually forces the model to sound like normal human text, right?
Exactly. It keeps the model close to its pre-trained state. By dropping it, they accelerate reinforcement learning improvement dramatically. They are telling the model, we don't care if you sound human. Optimize purely for the mathematical reward of solving the logic environment.
It stops being a chatbot and becomes a pure logic engine.
Yes, which leads to what Qwen 3.8 calls dynamic workflows. The model freezes orchestration logic into reproducible programs.
The recreation bench evaluation from our sources perfectly illustrates this. It's a brutal test.
Yeah.
The model is given a running black box application, like a calendar app, with zero access to the source code.
Right, it has to physically interact with the UI, click buttons, reverse engineer the logic, and iteratively rebuild the app from scratch using action feedback loops.
You can't teach a model to do that just by feeding it Wikipedia.
No, you need flawless trajectory data. They synthesize high-quality trajectories and use a highly rigorous critic model for turn-level judgment. It evaluates every step across 3 dimensions: logical soundness, tool call accuracy, and informational gain.
So if an agent clicks a button that don't provide informational gain, that action is masked out of the loss function.
Precisely. The model learns exactly what a ruthless, efficient sequence of actions looks like.
This brings us right back to that YouTube demo from the intro. A user asked Qwen 3.8 to build a website about itself. It wrote the code, rendered it, opened a built-in browser, visually inspected the page, judged the result against its goal, and rewrote the CSS to fix the styling.
And what's fascinating is how models like Nanbij 4.1 3B are proving that these massive reasoning capabilities can be distilled into tiny 3 billion parameter models. By rigorously filtering these turn-judged sequences, the model is no longer predicting the next word, it's predicting the next optimal action in a deterministic environment.
Which connects this all directly back to you, the listener. Whether you're an engineer optimizing local agent pipelines or a researcher tracking the frontier, the commoditization of frontier performance has arrived.
Honestly,
The thinking tax and context explosion are being solved right in front of us by hybrid linear attention and MOE routing. The primary barrier is no longer algorithm secrecy, it is simply hardware access.
And that leaves us with one final provocative concept to mull over. We've seen models engineered with internal geometrical representations of logic. We're seeing them run their own validation tests. As open-weight models like the 27B take over the high-volume middle of coding tasks, and proprietary models handle the complex recovery tail, what happens when we use the open models to generate infinite, high-quality, turn-judged trajectories to train the next generation of local models? We might literally be looking at the final days where closed API models hold any architectural advantage at all.
The geometric shapes and the latent space are getting sharper, linear attention is stretching context to infinity, and agents are actively browsing their own creations. The quadratic compute curse is breaking. Keep your eyes on the architecture.